For many years now, there's been this debate between consoles and PC Master Race, and for many years the PC Master Race has won, with consoles being left behind trying to play catch up. But with the launch of the new PS5, will this finally be the console to kill the PC Master Race? Well, the short answer is yes and no, but let me tell you why. Now, when it comes to whether the PS5 will actually be a PC killer, there's a lot of factors to look at, but one of the things we're going to look at is the price. Because if the PS5 can launch between $500 and $600, that will make it one of the most powerful gaming systems in its price range. And before you guys go off, in its price range, I know you can build a much stronger PC, but if you take it the $500 price range, that's what we're looking at. And you will actually struggle to build a PC for around $500 to $600, especially today, that will be able to keep up with the performance of the PS5. Because you need to keep in mind that the PS5 is specifically made for purposes, so the games are going to run optimally on it, even though the specs might not be as great as a high-end PC. Now, taking a closer look at the PS5 will actually launch with two different consoles on launch day, one physical and one digital edition, with the digital edition not having a disc drive, which means you're just going to have to buy all of your games digitally off of the PlayStation Store. But it is rumored that it is going to be cheaper than the physical edition, so which is pretty cool if you don't have the money to actually buy a physical edition. Buying a digital edition, you don't lose anything except the fact that you can't buy physical copies of games. Now, looking at the specs of the PS5, the CPU of the PS5 will be an AMD Ryzen Zen 2 with 8 cores, 16 threads, and a variable frequency of up to 3.5 gigahertz. And to kind of put that in perspective, that's around a Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7. But with most parts on this list, there's actually no way of directly comparing. You can only kind of generalize parts, and that the main reason is because the PS5 is built in its own way for its own thing, and the parts in the PS5 you can't just go out and buy for a normal stock standard desktop PC. So we're kind of looking at stuff and just giving general ideas of parts that kind of compare for a PC. Cool, with that being said, the GPU in the PS5 will be an AMD Radeon RDN2, which will run at a variable frequency of 2.23 gigahertz and will feature ray tracing, as well as be able to put out an amazing amount of 10.3 teraflops of power, which is a lot. Now, for those of you who don't know what a teraflop is teraflops is just a basic measurement of the power of a GPU. But a little disclaimer is that teraflops don't tell the entire story. There's a whole lot more you need to actually consider when it comes to how good a GPU is. And that includes things like architecture, clock speeds, the amount of VRAM, and even the type of VRAM. And with all of those together, you can actually get a bigger picture of the amount of power a GPU has or how good a GPU will be. And for that reason, you can't actually classify the PS5 GPU solely on the teraflop rating. Now, to kind of make another prediction on a PC part, even if we don't have all the information, is by taking the teraflop rating alone, you're looking at a GPU around a 1080 or a 1660 Super or a 2060. Now, of course, you can also look at the AMD Radeon side, which will then be an RX 5700 series card. Now, for this case, I'm going to be going for a 2060 since the PS5 will be able to game at 4K, but also feature ray tracing. So with all of that being said, you're going to have to look at either the Radeon 5700 or a 2060 to kind of get you the ray tracing plus the 4K plus all the other teraflop ratings that you might need. Now, the RAM in the PS5 will be 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM, which will run at a bandwidth of 448 gigabits per second. It will also feature an 825 gigabyte solid state drive, which will be able to read RAW of up to 5.5 gigabits per second, which will be needed for all the new games. And the PS5 will also support 4K 120Hz, 8K, as well as VRR. So after looking at all of the specs of the PS5, if you were to build a PC today that will kind of be comparable to the PS5 from parts found on Amazon, it will be around $740. but most of the parts you can actually get for cheaper if you were to shop around a little, because parts are rare nowadays as well as expensive. So by going around trying to find specials, you might get it for cheaper, and I've actually seen people build it for around $550, which puts you in that PS5 like price range. Now what that actually means is that if the PS5 can launch between $500 and $600, it is actually very well priced, since you're not paying too much and not getting enough, and not paying not enough and getting too much. It's kind of well priced, you know. But now that that's out of the way, let's talk about why the PS5 might not kill the PC Master Race. And for one is the PS5 might be comparable to PCs of today's standards, but in 2 years from now, when the PS5 has kind of aged and PC parts have gotten better, how will it compare then with a PC of the same price range as the PS5 on launch? Now there's no way to actually know for sure, but that is one thing that will always put the PC Master Race one step ahead, and that is the fact that you can actually upgrade 1 or 2 parts or just build an entire new PC whenever you feel the need or whenever new parts come out, which will allow you to always be on top of the new things. Where with consoles, you have a console, and the only way to get a better console is to either wait for the next gen, which is then either PS4, PS5, PS6, or by waiting for another alteration in a series like what they did with the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. Now, even though the PS4 Pro was a big improvement on the PS4, the time between those two consoles were big, and in that time could have upgraded your PC a lot in that time. Also, you could have just gone and bought a much better GPU, which would have made your PC 10 times better than the one you started off with. Where with the console, even though it's a better console, it's not going to be 10 times better, since it's slight adjustments compared to what you can actually do on a PC. Now, another big thing why I think it will not kill the PC Master Race is because you're paying top dollar for a game, and then you still have to pay a monthly amount to be able to play online with your friends. Now, most games don't actually have that feature, so you can just play online with your friends, but most games actually have a multiplayer feature which you need a PlayStation Plus account for to be able to play online. And yes, you might get free games every month, and you might get extra discounts on discounts that are already on the PS Store. Adding the feature to have that in order to play multiplayer online with your friends is a big killer for most people, and most people don't want to pay that monthly amount just to be able to play with their friends, where if you're playing on PC, if you buy the game, you can play with your friends no matter what. You're not going to be charged monthly for that. And with all of those reasons combined, I don't think the PS5 will be a killer of the PC Master Race anytime soon, but it is getting close, and only time will tell. Maybe in the next iteration of consoles, they may just find the perfect mix between performance and power and looks and everything else, the immersive feeling that will actually make the consoles kill the PC Master Race. But today's not that day. And with all that combined, the next gen of consoles will definitely be exciting, as they are actually truly powerful consoles that are well priced, and they have amazing titles that will be coming out on release. But as far as killing the PC Master Race, who knows? The consoles might just rise up and take the throne. Only time will tell. And not until we actually have a physical PS5 in hand to be able to test things and look at the actual quality and performance, there's no way of actually saying whether or not it is better than even a $500 gaming PC, since all of this is still speculation, and most of the time specs on paper don't usually translate into actual power, or it might not translate into actual power. So even though the specs on paper look good, it might have a very disappointing results when you're actually testing it out and playing on it. And as a final side note, remember that the PS5 console's main focus is immersion. So the PS5 have added a lot of new features to help improve with immersion, like adaptive controlling, haptic feedback, new audio that will immerse you even better, and with ray tracing, and all of that combined is there to actually create a more immersive feel and to help you put yourself in the game and feel like you're actually there compared to sitting on the sidelines just playing it. Now, that might also be the reason why the new gen consoles might not be that big of a leap in graphics performance, because I think a lot of people are expecting like a 10, 20, 30 times better looking games, when in fact the games might only look a slight bit better than the previous generation of consoles. But with all of that combined with the immersion feeling, the actual new controls, the everything combined might give you a much better experience than just physical graphics on a screen. Now, with that also being said, that if you take all of that immersive feeling, the new consoles might actually stand a better chance at killing the PC Master Race, since the PC Master Race is not focused on immersing yourself as you're playing on a keyboard with a mouse, where with consoles you are in this controller with haptic feedback, with all of these senses that will actually put you in a much better space to feel like you're in the game compared to playing on PC. But who knows, that might just put consoles in their own lane, which means that you still have your PC Master Race on this side and your consoles on this side, and both of them are two separate things now, both good, both not being able to compare with each other. And that is it for today's video. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and also hit that little bell notification to know when I post my next video. Also, if you have any questions on the PS5 or on this build, leave a question down in the description below. I'd love to get to those. I always answer all of the questions in the comment section, so if you want to ask anything, I do get to those. Also, tell me, are you getting one of the new gen consoles, whether it is the PS5 or the Xbox? Leave that down in the comment section below too. Or are you just going to be sticking with PC and upgrading every year because you can? And also, if you have any questions you want to ask live, or you just want to come and hang out, I stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoon, where we kind of talk about things like this, and we also play a few games. So if you guys want to hang out, or if you have questions, feel free to jump in there, leave me a follow, catch me when I'm live next. And until next time, cheers.